Hey there, YouTube family, and welcome to another episode of Cook and Eat with Chef DJ. I know. It's been a very long time since we've last cooked together, but today I have a taste for some chili. Yeah, and not just any old type of chili. I just want to do something a little bit different than I normally do chili. So you're going to see a little bit of improvising because there's some items that are missing that I don't feel too good about, but we are going to have chili nonetheless. We're going to have some chili. It's going to be good too. All right, so get your seasoning cabinet open as I have mine here. Let's start cooking. Okay, so here are some of the items that you will need. Here are some of the items that I will be using today because I don't have what I would normally like to have. Again, I don't feel good about that, but we're making chili my way. You're watching, right? You're going to keep your eyes open because I'm going to show you something. It's going to be good too. These are the ingredients that we will need. Stay right there. You still there? All right, I'm back. Coming to you live from Chef DJ's kitchen. All right, so here we are. These are the items and the ingredients that you will need. For tonight's recipe, we are using ground beef, ground chicken, and ground pork. Oh yeah, this is going to be fire. This is going to be really good. I already know. So I've heard of people doing different meats for chili. I've heard of people doing lamb and stuff like that, and that sounds good too. Maybe one day I'll do that, but not tonight. So those are the meats that you will need. Now, as far as your veggies are concerned, one large sweet Vidalia onion, two green bell peppers. Now, keep in mind that I am using fresh veggies as far as the peppers and the onion is concerned. But as far as the other veggies, they'll be canned because I'm making it very quick and easy. Some sweet corn, green giant, yum. No, that's red robin, whatever. Black beans, some dark red kidney beans. Now we will be making a roux because I do not have tomato paste as I would normally like to use for my chili. I'm going to make my own roux and I'm going to make it work, make it do what it do. So to make our roux, we'll be using this right here, cornstarch. You could use flour if you don't have cornstarch, but I like the cornstarch because it's not as dense as the flour, and the taste of burnt flour when making the roux doesn't taste too good. Yeah, I don't like it. Now, I said I would use tomato paste normally, but because I don't, I'm going to improvise. Ketchup. Duh. Do some ketchup. Add some water to that and watch what you come up with. With our cornstarch, you'll be starting off your roux with the cornstarch and this right here, extra virgin olive oil or vegetable oil if that's what you have. Now for your seasonings. Wait right there. Some minced garlic. Yeah, you need that. You'll also need some kosher salt. Mhm. You'll need some black pepper. You'll need some basil flakes. You'll need some smoked paprika for that extra smoky taste. Paprika actually does have a flavor for those that don't believe. Some say that it just has color, but paprika gives your food a smoky flavor. Paprika. Need a little bit of thyme flakes. Just a little bit, not a lot. And you will need some cayenne pepper. Use as much or as little as you like. It is all up to you. Make the dish all your own, as I always like to say. And if it gets a little too hot for you, by all means, add a tablespoon of sugar. It'll help cut and balance off that heat. All right, so that is all of the ingredients that you will need. It's going to be accompanied with some rice. I'm going to make a pot of jasmine rice because what's chili without rice? And I'm going to make some homemade cornbread because chili should also have cornbread with it. I just believe that that should automatically come with it. It's chili cornbread. It should come like that. Let's start cooking. All right, so if you know anything about me, you know the first thing I like to do is get my prep work out of the way. Get that out the way, make life a little simpler. That is one of the hardest things in making soul food of any sort is your prep work. It takes a very long time. So we're going to get that out the way first. Rinse off these green bell peppers. There's one, two. And let's not forget our sweet Vidalia onion. This baby right here. Now, the missus gave me these beautiful knives for Christmas. I don't use them much, but I will feature it. I normally used to always use my famous Santoku knife. I'm going to use a new one. This is by Cuisinart. This one right here, you have to be extra careful because it should do some damage to you if you're not careful. Good knives. All right, let's start cutting. All right, so if you know anything about Chef DJ, you're going to know that Chef DJ loves cast iron. I only cook in cast iron skillets. That's all I use. I love cast iron. To me, just makes your food taste better. So let's go ahead and start sauteing our veggies. Hit it with a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit. Switch that around. The skillet is not hot. That's why I'm picking it up. It just got turned on because if it were that hot, I would not pick it up. Should always use an oven mitt. Just an FYI. And the wonderful thing about cast iron is that they don't require a lot of heat. Keep it to a medium low heat, and it gives you the perfect meal every time. The moment you turn it beyond that, higher than that, you're going to burn up everything that you make. Cast iron conducts heat very quickly. So be mindful of that when cooking with cast iron. And from the sound of that, you can saute. Oh yeah. Get all of that in there. Hit it with some of this right here. Kosher salt. Helps you sweat out some of that wonderful flavor. Now keep in mind we're going to use a pot for our chili. This is going to be some good chili, y'all. I'm telling you. Let's hit it with a little more of that kosher salt. Once these are done, take them off and put all of the drippings, everything, all the juice, because you're going to need all that wonderful flavor for your chili. Set it aside in a bowl. And go ahead and get started on our meats and our roux. Very good to go. We can turn that off. All right, so we brought out a bigger skillet for our meats. Let's do the ground chicken first. I'm going to use half of the 16-ounce pack of chicken. We're just going to hit this with a little bit of kosher salt and a little bit of black pepper. Smelling good up in here. Smelling really good. Just like that, our ground chicken is done. Now what we'll do, set this aside, take all of the juices out with the ground chicken. You're going to need all of that flavor. Now it's time for your ground pork. So we're only going to use half of the pork. That's all. Let's drop that in there. Hit that with a little bit of kosher salt. Not much, because pork is already a salty meat. Here with a little bit of paprika. Add a little bit of black pepper. And just like that, ground pork is done. Let's set that aside. Take the juices with it. Take the juices with it. You need all that flavor. Now it's time for the ground beef. Yeah, buddy. To this, we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit. Just going to add a little bit of kosher salt, some paprika, and some ground black pepper. As we did with the other meats, cook it until it's done. Save the juice. Set it aside. And just like that, our ground beef is done. Turn it off, set it aside, and don't drain the juice. I will repeat, don't drain the juice. Keep it. You need that flavor. And now you have your big pot, as I said that we would have. We are going to make our roux and put all of our chili in this big baby right here. All right, so our pot is nice and hot. What we're going to do is hit it with this right here, that extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to use about a quarter cup of that. It's nice and hot, as you can see. Then what we'll do is add this right here, cornstarch. I put about 1/8 of a cup of cornstarch in there. You will need to have your window open for this process because it's going to get very smoky. You're also going to need some water, plenty of it. Let's whisk that so it gets almost like a golden brown. This is basically your basis for gravy. We call it fancy terms roux, but in layman's term is gravy. When you add your water to your roux, you're going to add it little at a time because it's going to thicken very quick. You'll see what happens. It's beginning to turn golden brown as we want. And now we can add our water. Again, you're going to add a little bit of water at a time, not a lot. It's going to get real smoky. Don't be alarmed. You're not burning the house down, okay? This is why you add a little bit at a time. You see that? This is how you start making gravy. But in this case, we're not making gravy. We're making a nice roux for our chili. I like the liquid in my chili to be kind of thick. I don't like it to be watery. No one likes a watery chili. I don't believe you do. Now, your seasonings can come into play. And let it simmer. And as it simmers, it will begin to thicken. You can add a little more water to keep it from being too thick or add more to make it as thin as you want it to be. Whatever you do, make it all your own. Let's hit it with some kosher salt. Let's hit it with some smoked paprika. Our minced garlic. Yeah, buddy. Big old fat tablespoon of that. Garlic makes everything better. Whisk all that in there. Now you can add your basil flakes. Get a little thicker once I add my unorthodox way of doing chili, but it's going to work. A little bit of thyme, ground black pepper, a teaspoon of that. Now add your cayenne pepper. Let's do about 2 teaspoons of that. Whisk that spice in there. And if you're anything like me, you like to taste your food as you're cooking it. So you know if you had to add something to it or not. Oh, that's good. That's good. Perfect. And at this point, you can now add your veggies. Oh, yeah. With all the juice from it. Yes, ma'am. It's going to be good, y'all. Tastes good to me. You can now add your meats along with the wonderful juices. Beef, ground pork, chicken. Yes, ma'am. Mix all that in there. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be good. As you can see, it's going to be a very hearty chili. We are now going to add Heinz tomato ketchup. Yeah, I said it, Heinz tomato ketchup. Because I didn't have tomato paste as I normally would use. And I'm going to add some more water, but this with a little bit of cornstarch in it, which is why it looks white. But a little extra thickness that I would like for my chili. It's going to be good, guys. Just showing you how to improvise. When you don't have what you need, find the closest thing to it and make do. Make it do what it do. Turn it up to a medium heat until it comes to a nice simmer. Now, because you've added your ketchup to this, you may have a semi-sweet chili. And that's okay if that's what you want, but I want mine to be a little more spicy. So I'm going to add a little more cayenne pepper to it. There we go. Added about a teaspoon more. And one ingredient that is so important to chili that I forgot to tell you. Add yourself some of these. Some of these. Bay leaves. You need bay leaves in your chili. Yes, you do. Gives it that nice rustic flavor. While that's simmering, let's not forget to add our corn and our beans. We need that. Let me get my electric can opener because the handheld one is not acting right. Corn, the whole can, drained. Be sure to drain that. Be sure to drain and rinse your black beans, as you do not want to have all of the added sodium. Black beans, even with the kidney beans, do rinse them to take any excess sodium off. They are half sodium, however, they're still sodium because the sodium helps to preserve them. So you want to rinse that off. Here are your kidney beans. Now, but as you can see, it's a very hearty meal that stretches. So you may not need all of the added meat. We only use half meat for each. What I'm going to do, let's taste this. See if it's spicy enough. I like a little kick to my chili. You don't have to, but I like a little kick to my chili. And I like my chili to be on the thick side, as you can see. That's good, but it needs something. I know. This right here. Frank's red hot sauce. Put that on everything. Just a little bit of that. Just a little bit. There we go. Now let's see what we're doing. See what we're working with now. This is a budget meal. Roughly for everything, it only cost me $27 to make this meal that's going to last for about 4 or 5 days with this particular meal. It yields about 15 servings. That's some good chili. Yes, ma'am. Add a little more paprika. Not just for the color, but also for some smoky flavor. A little more smoky flavor. So we're going to let this simmer, turn it on low, let it simmer for about another 30 minutes, and you're good to go with your chili. Powdered rice is done. Just got to make some cornbread, and we'll be good to go. Just like that, our chili is done. And our rice is done. And our cornbread is in the oven. I do want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your subscriptions. And if you have not subscribed, by all means, go ahead and subscribe. I don't know what you're waiting for. You want to be able to select all so that you'll be notified every time that Chef DJ posts another video for your tasting and viewing pleasure. Thank you for cooking with me. And until next time, close your seasoning cabinet because we are officially done.